Welcome to another Witcher lore video. So as you'll all know, I've moved on from the series format and I'm just going to be making standalone videos of stuff that I'm interested in. And as I went to make today's video, I thought, I don't actually know what to make today's video on. And then I thought about a comment from a user, you'll see him on screen, and they put this comment absolutely ages ago and I always wanted to cover this. So as you can see from the title, I've decided to make today's video on Dryads. So as always, to begin with, I'll start with some very basic information on this race. The Eerie Wives of Brokilon, or, as they are more commonly known, the Dryads, are a purely female race that protects the forest of Brokilon, and of course their lady Ithne. The Dryads are also referred to as the Ein Woedebena, which I think is how you say it, and this is an elder speech, and they're also referred to as nymphs. So if you ever hear that terminology in the games, you'll know they're referring to Dryads. So I thought the most fitting way to start this video off would be to discuss how Dryads are made. As I'm sure a lot of you may be wondering, how does a race consisting only of one gender procreate? Well, the way in which Dryads procreate is identical to us humans. Dryads will mate with human and elven males for purely mating purposes. They generally only procreate with physically strong males as they know their children will possess some of their father's traits, and of course they'll probably be looking for intelligence too. But Dryads take mating very seriously compared to the other races, and explicitly will not have sex for pleasure. And it has been stated that if they are touched by a man without consent, they will not hesitate to kill. Therefore it is a completely futile task to attempt to woo them or impress them, as they would only show interest if they wanted children. There's actually a lot of this in the books, but the Dryads aren't big fans of Geralt because they kind of view him as useless because, as you know, he is sterile, and they think, well, what's the point of him then? So you can kind of see their opinion of the other gender. It's more of a means to an end for them. If they want more Dryads, they're gonna have to have sex, but this is not the only way in which Dryads are made, because there is actually another method. But this method can never create a true-blooded Dryad. So it goes something like this. If a young girl were to wander into the forest of Brokilon, they would be given the waters of Brokilon to drink. Then, all of their memories would be erased, and they would be raised as a Dryad. And the waters do appear to pass some physical traits to the girls, as those who become Dryads as babies, or at least at a young age, show no sign of being an elf or human as they grow up. But girls that are older than 10 will always possess some physical traits from their previous race. So the Dryads that are created in this way can never get to the level of skill that true Dryads can. And it has been said that despite a normal Dryad's lifespan being around 300 years, a girl changed into a Dryad via this method can only live to be 100. So they're not proper Dryads, but they're almost like a stand-in, I suppose, because they can't constantly be having babies, as obviously they have to find the right suitor. So this is a good way for them to get more Dryads to defend their forest. Next, to move on to Dryads' appearances. Generally, pure-blooded Dryads have skin tones ranging from dark to light greens, and also tend to have brown, green or black hair paired with dark eyes. However, there can be genetic deformities, and they can actually get their father's traits in some cases. For example, some Dryads were known to have red hair. Dryads mainly wear clothes made from the materials they find in the forest, and they use things such as twigs and leaves for this. And this not only acts as great camouflage, but is also very easily replaced. However, some Dryads do like to wear dresses, for example, Ithne. And as we know from playing the Witcher games, some prefer to be completely nude. And generally, Dryads are thin and small. It's common knowledge that Dryads are known for their skills in archery. In fact, they have been known to kill a human stone dead from 200 feet, without their target even noticing they were there. The reason they develop skills like this is because they need to use it to defend their forest. But they are not merciless. For example, if someone strays too close to their home, they will shoot a warning arrow so the intruder knows that their next step forward will be their last. That isn't their only defense, however, as they also mark their borders with rivers, so they can prevent the smell of dead bodies from filling the air. Dryads are also known to be very skilled in healing and medicine. For example, after Geralt's first encounter with Vilgefortz, where he was very severely injured. In fact, I think he developed a knee injury that they do mention in The Witcher 3 from this first fight, but they managed to heal Geralt almost fully. As I'm sure you'll know, just based on what their entire culture is, Dryads have an undying love for nature. But they still have a love for music and the many other pleasures of the world. So you may be wondering, how would they have an instrument without carving wood, say? Well, they make these instruments by shaping trees, and therefore it doesn't harm them. They also refuse to burn anything, so instead they use fungi to create a non-harmful light source. An interesting note is that in the books, the Dryads did actually attempt to make Ciri into a Dryad. This was until Geralt rescued her and returned her to Sintra, but at this time, this is what gives us much more insight into the Dryads' lives. As this also tells us that Dryads don't pick and choose choosing which girls they'll turn into Dryads. It can be a princess, say like Ciri, or just a random peasant girl. They don't really mind. Dryads also live in completely natural homes, and these are generally trees that have grown into homes for them. So they've worked out a way in which to get these trees to grow almost into like houses. It's difficult to explain, but it's imagine a house that is effectively coming out the top of a tree, and it kind of tips down to the ground, I suppose. And this obviously means that they don't have to chop down wood to make their homes or just sleep out in the open. So to end today's video, I'm going to list some notable Dryads. So there is of course Ithne, Aglais, Brienne, Fauve, Circe, Moren, and Maureen. But anyway guys, that's the end of today's lore video. There'll be another one out on Monday. I'll decide what that'll be soon, as I really do enjoy making these videos, and now I'm making less of them. I feel like I can just have so much more fun with them. It's not going to be like a pressure thing. It's just going to be, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to enjoy it, sort of thing. And I've actually really enjoyed gathering the information for this video and recording it, so thank you all so much for being understanding about the new schedule. For anyone watching right now that hasn't followed my Twitter yet, I'd really recommend doing that, as I'm going to try and post more things on there soon. I'd like to ask you guys some questions and many other things. I'll probably post it in the community tab as well, but if you follow my Twitter, you'll be able to see, say, if I have pictures that I might go on trips and things. I might just want to show you what's happening. And I feel like I'll just be more active on there as a whole. So be sure to go and follow me on Twitter. As always, I'll have polls on possibly Twitter. I think there is a YouTube poll option, so that might be easier for when I do lore videos and things that aren't related to, say, The Witcher, and I just want you guys to pick something cool. So we'll see how that all goes. Also, I've been streaming on Twitch quite a bit recently. I played some PUBG, which is quite fun. I know it's not related to The Witcher in any way, but it's just a very fun game to play. Just quickly get into a game, see how well you can do. Very stressful. You kind of feel like a hunter half the time, and sometimes you feel like the hunted. It's really interesting, and I quite enjoy doing that. So I play games like that. I'm planning to play some Gwent soon. I want to play some other games like, say, Civ 6, maybe even some Witcher contracts, anything, honestly. I mean, if I'm streaming and you guys are in chat and you're like, hey, can you play this game? Then I could do that. You know, why not? Some people were suggesting Doki Doki Literature Club to me, and I've seen people play that before, but it might be actually fun to play that myself, so maybe I could play that on there if you guys want that. So be sure to go and follow me on there. And also, thank you so much to the Patreon pledges. I appreciate everybody who supports me on Patreon so much. You know, doing YouTube and things can be quite stressful at times, as every job in the world is, to be honest. But when you have a lot of people watching you do stuff, and I guess in a way judging your every move and things, the fact that some people have watched it and thought, you know, I like what this guy does so much, I'm going to donate to him, that is just so kind for you to do. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that do that so much. And also, of course, thank you to anyone that leaves a comment that's just nice. Anyone that leaves a comment that even is just criticism, but also just not being a douche, it's just nice criticism, or anything in that sense is just brilliant. So thank you all so much. Everyone say thank you to the Patreon pledges. They really help with these videos, as YouTube are being a bit of a, you know, they're being difficult with my contract for ads and things. But the fact that you guys do that is just nice to have something coming in from this that I can use to support the channel if I need new equipment, because stuff always breaks with computers all the time. So thank you all so much for that. Anyway guys, I'll see you all later. Thank you for watching today's lore video, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome rest of the week and weekend.